federalism, right? What is the meaning of federalism? Hello everyone, I'm Neelam from poonamacademy. So basically, what is the meaning of federalism? So federalism is a system of government in which power is divided between central authority and its consequent units, right? In chapter number 1, power sharing, you have already studied that vertical distribution of powers, that our powers are divided from higher to lower level. Powers are moving from higher to lower level, that is central government, state government and local self-government, right? So a federation has two levels of government basically, and both these levels of government enjoy their power, right, independent of the other, right? So here I've already explained the meaning of federalism, right? So independent of the other. So first is, one is the government for the entire country. There are two levels I've already explained to you. So for the entire country, that is also called the general government. That is usually responsible for a few subjects of common national importance, right? Or we can say interest, right? And that second level is governments at the level of provinces. Provinces mean states, or states that look after much of the day-to-day administering of their state, right? So basically there are two levels of government, right? So now what is the difference between the unitary system and federal system? What is the difference? So unitary system and federal system. Now, so what is the difference between the unitary system and federal system? So in case of unitary system, there is one level of government, right? One level of government, right? And the subunits are subordinate to the central government, right? Subunits subordinates to the central government, right? So there are two or more levels or tiers of government, right? The central government can pass an orders to the provincial or local government, right? So the central government, basically the central government cannot order the state government in case of federal distribution of powers, federal government to do something, right? They are independent units, right? So the central government is supreme and the administrative, basically the administrative divisions exercise only powers that the central government has delegated to them, right? So their powers may be broadened and narrowed by the central government, right? State government has powers of its own, right? For which it is not answerable, right? So we can say that state government has its own power, right? And not answerable to the central government. Like key features of federalism. What are the key features of federalism, right? So some of the basic features of federalism are, there are two or more levels of government. That is the first feature, right? And different tiers of government, different levels of government govern the same citizens, right? There are no other citizens, right? same citizens they are governing, but each tier, each level has its own jurisdiction, own powers, right? In specific matters of legislation, taxation, and administration, right? So I think this is clear to you. And third point is the existence and authority of each level of government is constitutionally guaranteed. So there is no dispute. ठीक है, कोई झगड़ा नहीं होगा अगर उनको सेपरेट मतलब पावर्स को सेपरेट किया गया है और गारंटेड है वो बाय द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, राइट? So fourth feature is the fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of government. ठीक है, अगर कुछ भी लॉ चेंज करना है या कुछ भी रूल चेंज करने हैं तो यूनिलेटरली वो चेंज नहीं हो सकते, राइट? So such changes require the consent of both the levels of government. That is the mandatory condition, right? So if they want change, then both consent are required. So fifth point is courts have the power to interpret the constitution and powers of different levels of government, right? Supreme Court, right? Now the sixth feature is sources of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. Autonomy means freedom, right? Now seventh feature is the federal system has dual objectives. What are the dual objectives? First is to safeguard and promote the unity of the entire country, right? And second one is accommodate regional diversity, right? Accommodate regional diversity, because in case of India, we have seen that there are different community groups, different caste systems. So there are different routes through which the federations can be formed. Now let's come to the topic, right? Two aspects are crucial for the institutions and practice of federalism. So basically there are the two routes, that is coming together federation and holding together federation, right? So there is a dual objective of federalism, right? So we can say that there are two kinds of routes through which federations have been formed. So what are the two routes? So first route involves independent states. First, that is applied to independent states, right, coming together on their own to form a bigger unit, right? Bigger unit. So this kind of government is called coming together, this federation, right? For example, USA, Switzerland, and Australia, right? Now let's talk about the second route of federation, right? Is that a large country decides its power to divide its power between the constituent units, constituent states, and the national government, right? That is called the holding together government. So this kind of holding together federation is basically followed in India, Spain, and Belgium. We have already studied in chapter number 1, right? So that makes sense, right? So India is having holding together federation, and coming together federation, US, Switzerland, and Australia, right? So all the features of the federal system apply to the provisions of the Indian Constitution, we can say, right? So the Indian Constitution, basically, if I'm talking about the Constitution, if I'm talking about the India, then the Indian Constitution is a threefold distribution of legislative powers between the union government, right, and the state governments, right, basically. So on the basis of their powers, right, the three lists are mentioned. That is, first list is union list. Okay, so it includes the subjects of national importance such as defense of the country, foreign affairs, banking, right? Those subjects which are having national importance, banking, communication, currency, defense. So these are included in union list, right? So union government alone can make laws relating to the subjects mentioned in the union list, ताकि झगड़ा नहीं हो. State government ये नहीं बोले कि आपने हमारे एरिया में आके काम कर लिया. That's why subjects mention कर दिए गए हैं ताकि disputes ना हो, right? Next is state list. It contains the subjects of obviously state list है, तो वो state के लिए होगी, and the local importance, इसमें subjects कौन-कौन से आते हैं? Which is having local importance, right? That is police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation. Right? Clear to you? So class में भी होता है ना, अलग-अलग responsibilities assign कर दी जाती है अलग-अलग उनको, ठीक है? So in this case, the state government alone can make laws relating to the subjects mentioned in this list, ताकि dispute नहीं हो between the central and the state government, ठीक है? Now third list is concurrent list. Concurrent list means common list. It includes subjects of common interest. C से आप learn करेंगे concurrent and C से is common, right? Common interest to the both the union government as well as the state government, right? So the list includes education. मतलब वो subjects इसके अंदर आते हैं जो state level पे भी importance रखते हैं और national level पे भी. वो कौन से हुए? Education हुआ, forest, trade unions, marriage, adoption and succession, right? So both the union as well as the state governments can make laws on the subjects mentioned in the concurrent list, right? But इसमें एक वो है, further एक exception है, हम ये बोल सकते हैं if their laws conflict with each other. मान लीजिए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट बोल रही है ये नहीं होना चाहिए, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट बोल रही है होना चाहिए, with each other. So the law made by the union government will be considered. यहाँ पे ज्यादा पावर किसको दी गई है? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को दी गई है, राइट? क्यों ऐसा किया गया है? क्योंकि ऑलरेडी स्टेट के पास में अपनी स्टेट लिस्ट है और अपने सब्जेक्ट्स, एरियाज ऑफ वर्किंग सब्जेक्ट्स है, राइट? So how is federalism practice? अगर मैं बात करूँ तो रियल सक्सेस जो है फेडरलिज्म की, राइट, इंडियन फेडरलिज्म की इन इंडिया बेसिकली इज एट्रिब्यूटेड टू इट्स नेचर ऑफ डेमोक्रेटिक पॉलिटिक्स, राइट? इंडिया इज अ डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री, यू वी ऑल नो दैट. सो हैव अ लुक एट सम ऑफ द मेजर वेज इन व्हिच फेडरलिज्म इज practiced in India, right? So basically हम इस वाले टॉपिक पे आ गए हैं. अभी लिस्ट सिस्टम आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन टू यू. लिंग्विस्टिक स्टेट्स. सो व्हाट आर द लिंग्विस्टिक स्टेट्स? द क्रिएशन ऑफ स्टेट्स ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ लैंग्वेज. सो द क्रिएशन ऑफ लिंग्विस्टिक स्टेट्स वाज द फर्स्ट एंड मेजर टेस्ट फॉर डेमोक्रेटिक पॉलिटिक्स इन इंडिया, राइट? So if I'm talking about from like 1947 to 2017, many old states have vanished. खत्म हो गए, ठीक है? vanish मतलब खत्म होना. And many new states have been formed. बहुत सारे states उसकी जगह पे create किए गए हैं, form किए गए हैं, right? So areas हो गए, हम boundaries की अगर हम बात करें, and the names of the state have also been changed, right? कुछ ऐसे नेम्स जो ब्रिटिशर्स हमें देके गए थे, उन नेम्स को भी हमने चेंज कर दिया, स्टेट नेम्स, राइट? So some states have been formed of the people who speak same language, because I'm talking about the linguistic states, right? So states created on the basis of language. So these states are called linguistic states, which have been created on the basis of language, right? So language policy is a second test for Indian Federation, right? Is the language policy, right? So Hindi was identified, we all know that Hindi was identified as the official language, right? Hindi जो है उसको national language besides Hindi, ये आएगा exam में, there are 21 other language besides Hindi. There are 21 other languages recognized as scheduled languages by the Constitution of India. ये आपको लर्न करना है, ये आएगा besides Hindi 21 scheduled languages, right? States too have their own official languages and government, right? And government work takes place in the official language of the particular concerned state, right? So if I'm talking about next topic is central state relations, right? So central state relations means reconstructing the central state relation. Basically means one more way in which federalism has been we can say strengthened, right, in practice, right? So if no single party, right, if no single party gets a clear majority in the Lok Sabha elections, right? So the major national parties can alliance with many parties, right? क्योंकि स्टेट लेवल पे कोई और गवर्नमेंट आ रही है और सेंट्रल लेवल पे कोई और गवर्नमेंट आ रही है, ठीक है? तो many parties including several regional parties भी उसमें आ रही है to form a government at the center. Because एक पार्टी को मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द वोट्स नहीं मिले इन द लोकसभा, तो उनको क्या करना पड़ेगा? कोलिशन गवर्नमेंट बनाना पड़ेगा. So this led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of the state. Autonomy means freedom of the state because regional parties are also participating, right? So basically, what is the meaning of decentralization? So decentralization in India basically means when power is taken from the central and state government and given to the local government, local self-government. So we have already introduced third tier in 1992, right? Decentralization of power. So that is called the decentralization of power. So some powers are taken from the central government and state government, right, and given to the local self-government. So basic idea behind the decentralization is that there are a large number of problems and issues which are best settled at the local level. क्योंकि आपके एरिया में अगर आप रह रहे हैं तो आप एरिया को अच्छे से जान सकते हैं, ठीक है? स्टेट में बहुत सारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स आ गए, बहुत सारे विलेजेस आ गए, तो लोकल पीपल कैन आल्सो डायरेक्टली पार्टिसिपेट इन द डिसीजन. तो ये डिसीजन लिया गया 1992 में, पंचायतीराज को इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया, ठीक है? और एक थर्ड लेवल को इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया इंडिया में. पहले दो लेवल्स थे, सेंट्रल एंड स्टेट, अब थर्ड लेवल जो है वो लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट. सो अ मेजर स्टेप टुवर्ड्स द decentralization was taken in which year? You have to remember it's 1992, right? So the constitution was amended. Constitution को change किया है. Amend मतलब changes करना होता है to make the third tier of democracy more powerful. So democracy main idea behind this is to build up the democracy at the very grassroots level, and this method is very effective. Here are some key features of the, let's have a look, 3-tier of democracy, right? So first feature is it is constitutionally mandatory to hold, मतलब क्या इसके provisions थे वो मैं आपको बता रही हूँ, एग्जाम में आते हैं 3 marks में, to hold regular elections to local government bodies, right? And basically seats are reserved in the elected bodies and the, I can say that, executive heads of these institutions for the which caste reserve constituency, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward class, right? So these are the provisions I am explaining, right? Now third provision is at least कितनी seats reserve होनी चाहिए? 1/3 of all positions are reserved for especially for the women, right? This is again a new criteria. Now fourth feature is state election commission has been created in each state, ठीक है? ताकि क्या हो सके? To conduct panchayat and municipal elections, right, at the local level, ठीक है? Then fifth provision is the state governments are required to share some powers and revenue with local government. ये आपको अच्छे से ध्यान रखना है, local government bodies, right? Because the nature of sharing varies from state to state. It depends on the state condition. Basically, I can say that, right? From state to state. So, panchayatiraj system, like rural local government, we can say. But I'm talking about the panchayatiraj system that is also called the rural local government. Is popularly known as panchayatiraj, right? What is panchayatiraj? Right? So each village or a group of villages in some states has a gram panchayat, right? क्या होता है gram panchayat? This is a council consisting of several ward members, often called panch. हम बोलते हैं सरपंच, उनके साथ में 5 members and a president called sarpanch, right? Panch and a president called sarpanch, right? So basically, they are elected by the adult population living in a village, ठीक है? Or ward. So Gram Panchayat is the decision-making body. We can say that for the entire village, right? So the Panchayat works under whom? Under the overall supervision of the Gram Sabha, means all the adult members are participating, right? So all the voters in the village are, we can say that are its members, right? It has to meet at least twice or thrice in a year. Meeting होती है, उसमें उनको 2 से 3 बार साल में मिलना होता है, ताकि वो क्या अप्रूव कर सके? वो अप्रूव कर सके एनुअल budget of the ग्राम पंचायत and क्या कर सके और क्या कर सके? मीटिंग का क्या एजेंडा रहता है? टू रिव्यू द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द ग्राम पंचायत, राइट? एक तो एनुअल बजट बनाना और रिव्यू करना कि इनका परफॉर्मेंस क्या रहा है. When ग्राम पंचायत आर ग्रुप टुगेदर, जब सारी ग्राम पंचायत एक साथ अगर हम उनका ग्रुप बना दें, सो दे फॉर्म अ पंचायत, राइट? पंचायत समिति बोल सकते हैं हम, और ब्लॉक बोल सकते हैं, और मंडी बोल सकते हैं, राइट? द मेंबर जो होते हैं, इसमें अगर हम बात करें तो द मेंबर ऑफ पंचायत समिति रिप्रेजेंटेटिव आर इलेक्टेड इन केस ऑफ दैट. रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स कैसे इलेक्ट किए जाते हैं? बाय ऑल द पंचायत मेंबर्स इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया, राइट? आई थिंक इट इज क्लियर टू यू. So all the like panchayat committees or mandals in a district together constitute what? Constitute the jilla, that is we can say district or jilla parishad, right? So these are the classifications, you have to learn it because this is important for your exam point. So member of the Lok Sabha, MLAs of the district and some other officials, अगर हम बात करें of the other district level bodies are the members of the जिला परिषद. ठीक है, ये आपको क्लियर हुआ? इसके मेंबर्स कौन होंगे? ब्लॉक समिति के मेंबर्स कौन होंगे? आई थिंक ये आपको अच्छे से क्लियर हुआ होगा. ठीक है, इसमें मैंने जितना मैं एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है, मैंने आपको मेन जो भी इसके अंदर मेरे को लगा टॉपिक्स जो थे, मेन जो कंटेंट था वो मैंने आपको अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया है और मैंने नया मेथड ट्राई किया है। पहले मैं स्क्रीन शेयर करके पढ़ा रही थी एनसीईआरटी, लेकिन अभी मैंने वो व्हाइट बोर्ड पे स्विच किया है। इफ यू लाइक माय कंटेंट देन प्लीज सब्सक्राइब टू माय चैनल, hit the bell icon and share this video with your friends and colleagues ताकि उनको भी अच्छे से हेल्प मिल पाए, वो भी जान पाए। और आप प्लीज मुझे एक बार रिव्यूज दीजिए, कमेंट्स दीजिए कि आपको ये वीडियो कैसा लगा, क्योंकि मैं आगे की वीडियोस उसी अकॉर्डिंग बनाऊंगी जैसा आपकी तरफ से मुझे रिस्पॉन्स आएगा। ठीक है, मैंने एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सारे पॉइंट्स कवर कर लिए हैं, क्योंकि एनसीईआरटी अगर मैं पढ़ाती हूँ तो मुझे लगता है इट इज क्वाइट बोरिंग, but NCERT is the most important book for section A and section B, especially for the section A, right? So anyways, आप मुझे जरूर कमेंट करके बताइए कमेंट सेक्शन में कि आपको ये लेक्चर कैसा लगा, और मैं आगे भी अच्छे आपको वीडियोस दूंगी। ठीक है, हम लोग पूरा सिलेबस कवर करेंगे और शॉर्ट वीडियोस भी मैं बना रही हूँ, तो आप मेरे चैनल को जरूर सब्सक्राइब कीजिए ताकि आपको पूरा आपका सेट ए का रिवीजन हो जाएगा। इन शॉर्ट टर्म्स भी मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रही हूँ फॉर द सेट बी, एंड सेट ए के लिए मैं एमसीक्यूज आपको सॉल्व करवा रही हूँ। ठीक है, सो एनीवेज, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग।